Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are excited to be talking about today's topic because it is an empowering one, and it is one of our divine service. And this is how we can step into our divine service roles on earth. My guest is Matthew John. He's a spiritual teacher and intuitive healer, and he's got some wisdom to share with us. Let's welcome Matthew back to Quantum Conversations. Hi, Matthew. Welcome.
Hi, Loren. Thank you for having me.
This is a fantastic topic because in this past year, particularly, each of us have felt an even stronger call to really step up or step into deeper levels of service. And some have even reported feeling a birthing process, but yet not quite knowing what is being birthed. So this is a fascinating topic because you've done it, I've done it, and it is the way of New Earth to be of service and to trust that we are supported in these service roles. So share with us your intentions for how people can step into their service work, divine service work here on Earth.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I want to use this call as an opportunity to inspire people first and foremost. As you said, yes, I've done it, you've done it, and we're still doing it. And my work continues to evolve. I would imagine yours does as well. And I want to inspire others because you're right. I've been hearing a very similar thing from the people that I've worked with one-on-one and in my group, my various groups over the past couple months, especially. But yeah, sure, over that we can extrapolate over the past year. Exactly. There's so many people that are feeling this call. Like the most common question I get asked is, what am I supposed to do here? Why did I come here? What is my purpose? What was the point? What did I want to get done here? And I do my best to try to help people remember what it is that they really wanted to do when they came to this planet. And that's kind of the focus we'll focus on when we do our live readings today, actually.
Good. All right. We already have some people ready to get those live readings. And that is a great opportunity for you to work with them and help them decode what it is that they feel that they need to be doing in their service roles. When you began in your service role, how did you understand your own journey and what you were here to do? How did you figure that piece out?
Well, it's for me, I would say it came kind of almost as a series of accidents. It was nothing I ever had intended. And I don't think that's that uncommon actually for people that end up finding themselves in the New Age field or just in something that, you know, they never really truly dreamed of doing. I certainly never had any intentions of being in the New Age field at all. I definitely had never had any intentions of doing the work I'm doing. I would have much rather have been a comedian, to be quite honest. But what happened through a series of kind of accidents, misfortunes, was my initiation, an initiation by fire, so to speak, an initiation into a spiritual journey. And all of the wisdom that I share in my groups, all of the wisdom that I share in my classes, my programs, and these calls, and with one-on-one people as well, is an accumulation of everything I've been through in my life. So the initiation, the spiritual initiation through my spiritual journey has been what has had me accumulate the wisdom that I give back in my teachings. And I think it ends up being like that for a lot of people. A lot of people thought they had one idea of what they want to do with their life, and it ends up being something else. And a lot of people just, like you said, they don't really know specifically. They just have a feeling like energetically the path they might be going down with their current occupation or career path or whatever, just it feels dense or feels like it's not a match to something deeper. And I guess I'm fortunate enough that I definitely went through all sorts of different ideas of what I wanted to do with my life, but I never felt that. It was more for me, again, like tripping into it. And then the more I tripped into it, I started gaining all of these different skill sets like psychism and being able to really coach people very fluently and easily, and doing energy healing and communicating with angels and archangels and extraterrestrials and doing channel. And it all just came kind of, for me, very organically, I would say. And it is like that for a lot of people. A lot of times the spiritual initiation comes first, the spiritual journey comes first, and then we start to remember, whether we're like consciously doing it or like I did, I said I more tripped into it, so to speak, but we end up eventually where we need to be.
We end up eventually where we need to be. And the process of deprogramming ourselves from like education or society, that could get us, that could make us stumble along the way, or it could probably take years off our path, adding to this journey. Instead of getting down to business, we could distract ourselves or delay, not trusting in ourselves enough. Was that ever your journey? Like, how did you deprogram from like education, for example? Like for me, I'll just use myself as an example. I went to school as a journalist, and so I always thought that this was part of my role. And when I left that journalism industry, that was rather difficult. I felt like the world had dropped out. Did you have something like that? And what did you do to get through those times?
I would say my path was a little different. I never graduated college. I gave it a shot and I didn't really like it. And again, I went more down the paths of trying to find myself as an entertainer in certain ways, and just working various other jobs. I was also very involved in sports. And for me, I always, I guess, had this rebellious spirit anyways, where you know, a more traditional path wouldn't have really appealed to me. You know, one thing I can share is at the very beginning of my spiritual journey, I was first getting into to magic, like white magic, and I had found this spell book at a crystal shop, and one of the spells in there, it was a tea leaf reading for what is your life's purpose. And so late one night, I did it, and you know, what it did, you use the tea leaves and they would fall into different categories basically on a wheel. And I was quite sure mine would fall under the slice of entertainer, and it fell under a slice that was healer. And I was really blown away. And I was like, that can't be right. I'm like, I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a dentist. I would never want to go to, like, you know, down that path of medical school or whatever. So I didn't know at the time what it meant, but of course it was right. You know, it's just that I was just a very early preview, a glimpse into what I was supposed to end up doing, which I'm doing now. So for me, I would say my path was a little different just because I always had this kind of rebellious spirit in me anyways. But I can see how, yeah, for a lot of people, I mean, we're taught that there's only, you know, this. I like to, when I talk to clients, a lot of times I use this term as being in the square or outside of the square. There's a lot of people that are meant to work inside the square being just kind of what we're used to in society, right? As far as careers, jobs, etc. Some people are meant to be in the square for a while and then have some sort of spiritual awakening, go on some sort of initiation, and end up doing something a little bit outside the square, which I would say, you know, your and I's careers are both kind of outside of that traditional square. And then some people, you know, it's just that they actually maybe in lifetimes before this were more like a gypsy nomadic type, or even like a spiritual leader, and they're supposed to work in the square. It's totally different for everyone, because obviously not everyone on the planet is supposed to be a spiritual teacher. That wouldn't make any sense. Not everyone on the planet is supposed to be an energy healer. It doesn't make any sense. We need a society. We need lawyers, we need doctors, we need dentists, we need plumbers, we need construction workers, etc. So a lot of people, their service work comes through more underground ways, so to speak, more subtle ways. Whereas it may not be directly in their job that they're, or maybe in little ways. Maybe they're being an inspiration, being a shoulder to cry on for someone at work, or just being a really nice person work, sending love to people work. Maybe they end up in little ways, finding little ways to change the business, their industry they're in, to make it more of a new earth model that we talk about on this show, you talk about every day. But then there are others like you and I that end up taking a more direct, there's a more direct correlation between career and the service work. It's not like that for everyone, but for people that feel inspired to go that direction, those are the type of people that are probably with us today, watching the replay on YouTube. And those are the people that are going to benefit, incredibly from our upcoming course that we have actually on your platform, called How to Become a Successful Spiritual Entrepreneur.
So it's fascinating because in the journey, here you are, you thought you were going to go into comedy. We can think we go
entertainment in some sort was kind of my passion, I would say.
Entertainment. Okay, so there you go. You use that word passion. So then it was probably a surprise when you saw the tea leaves reveal that you are a healer, or that was the category. And then you opened up to it. And so where along the way was there ease and grace? Did that come in for you? Did you find that
definitely it came in? Yeah, it definitely came in. Those words started coming in when I actually started acquiring some skills. So my first foray into this whole field was, I was like, you know what? So at the time I was seeing a life coach. I never really resonated with like traditional, psychotherapists, but I respected, their field. But I had found someone through, locally through a kind of an energy healer that I was seeing, that was a life coach, and I had really wonderful, miraculous results with this man. He was such a huge part of my journey, and I really became inspired. I'm like, you know what? I want to do this too. Like, I think I can be a good coach. So I took a course. I took a 6-month online course, and it was fantastic. It was one of the most important things I ever did in my career. And this was very early on. This was, I don't know, 13 years ago or something like that. And, I started practicing. I'm like, wow, this is like great. And it feels good. And I'm really good at it, So that was kind of that first glimpse into like, I never even thought about this, but I'm really good at this and it feels good. And then other things, I became really fascinated in the tarot. I became really fascinated in energy healing. I became a Reiki master. I became, a really, really good tarot reader. For a while, I was working out of a psychic shop, just doing tarot readings. And again, I was enjoying them. I was really enjoying them. I still wasn't 100% sold on I want to do this for sure in my career. I had all sorts of other little jobs that were fun that I was doing. But it was starting to feel like, you know what? I'm pretty good at this and it feels good. And I think that's such a great indication. And the words you use, ease and grace, great. It's like, what is it that some of the questions I ask people when we're trying to find their purpose, and I'm kind of going more through a coaching algorithm for it, so to speak, is what is it that others ask you to do and you do for them and it really works, you're good at it. What do you really enjoy doing, helping others with? What do you most feel called to help with, and who? And it's going to be based on our trauma, really, and based on our history, whether from this life or other lifetimes. For example, one of the courses that people get when they purchase the special offer packages today, which, by the way, Loren, these are the most robust packages I've ever offered on this platform. I wanted to start off the new year with a bang on this platform. Fantastic. So I would encourage everyone to check those out. But one of the classes was the Addiction Relief for Lightworkers class. And for example, on that class, I brought on lightworkers who had been through terrible, terrible, terrible addiction and had recovered and were in recovery And lo and behold, several of them were now working in kind of the coaching healing field, specifically helping former addicts or current addicts. So a lot of times, so that question is very important. Who do I want to help? For a lot of people, it's animals. For a lot of people, it's plants. A lot of people, it's the earth in general. A lot of people, it's the elderly. It's, there's people who want to do hospice care. There's people that want to help children. There's people that want to help couples, help, bridge relationships. So it's important to ask yourself, like, who do I want to help? Because that can really help you hone in.
Yeah, very good. Who do I want to help? And it's there's something about the trauma, or there's a gift from our journey. There's a gift from our own pain.
Yeah.
That often reveals the next steps. So you say as well that our soul plans for our specific purpose and mission. Our soul knows that.
Yeah.
How would we begin to tune in to what our soul plans for us?
Great question. Well, first of all, of course, you can always join in on my groups or others, or, because there are people in this industry like myself that are very good at reading that. However, doing it on your own, there's a couple things to clue in that can really clue you in if you consider them, journal about them, etc. First of all, it's a very simple question, but it's very important. What have been my most consistent obstacles in this life? What have been the most consistently frustrating things in my life that I've had to either move through? Maybe I've overcome whatever these obstacles have been, or I've partially overcome them, or they're continuing to be frustrating, and I have to keep, it's almost like I'm banging my head against the wall. Those things are there for a very specific reason. Your soul has put those things in as being the mechanism to move you where you need to move, and where you end up moving is going to then give you the wisdom and the learning that you're meant to accumulate in this life. So, for example, someone that suffered with addiction or suffers with addiction in this life, maybe, just as an example, they had grown up in a household where the parents were also under the spell of addiction. Maybe in other lifetimes before this, they've also been under the spell of addiction. Maybe that's a recurring theme, is allowing oneself to be taken by other energies, having a weak solar plexus. Anyone that has addiction has a weak solar plexus because you're not able to take power enough over life to say no to certain things. And there's no judgment implied. It's just what it is. So that may be a recurring lesson for some person, as an example. So what is the wisdom that ends up being accumulated through that journey? Well, they're going to have to go on a journey of self-love. They're going to have to go on a journey of probably forgiveness of their household, of their parents or step-parents or whoever. They're probably going to have to go on a journey of forgiveness of self. They're probably going to have to go on a journey of boundary setting, of setting boundaries, with other people in their lives that also take from them. And maybe through that, what if they end up accumulating all this wisdom through that life experience, and they find, oh, now they're helping their friend who's also an addict, but now they're in recovery and they're helping someone else. Maybe they go to meetings and they're a really good speaker at the meetings. Maybe they feel inspired then to either go down the traditional path of becoming like a psychotherapist, or, being like a coach, or maybe they've discovered energy healing. They feel inspired by that. But the lead up to that is the trauma, and who they really feel called to be of service to. Again, a lot of times it's who they were. We end up we end up desiring to be of service to people in our lives that we either are or were in certain ways, or a lot of times the characters that we grew up with.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting that the journey is the path. And so you've helped explain how we can lean into that and enjoy the journey. And
Yeah.
passion, though, where, how do you help, where does passion fit in? Like you had a curiosity because of your own journey. You had a curiosity about the
All the spiritual stuff,
realm.
all of it. Yeah. Yeah.
And so at one point it comes to it, can we boil it down into something that's so simple that says, you know something, now share it. At one
Yeah.
point, it's become sharing what we know.
And, and you know, one of the things that we don't always realize, and maybe this, you know, this show can be an inspiration for that, is that the things that we have a certain passion for and interest in studying, it's like, okay, yeah, I was always passionate about sports, I was always passionate about comedy, I was always passionate about entertainment, but I didn't know I was passionate about like energy healing and tarot and crystals and, you know, magic and like literally every corner of this new age world until I started stumbling on it, right? So, and I, you know, looking back, I can say, well, the reason is because I, you know, have done this stuff before. I've done this stuff in Lemuria, and I've done this stuff in on other planets too, to be quite honest, you know, coming from Syrian realms and others. And so for a lot of us, when we start to stumble on things in the new age field that really, really call to us strongly, and there's a strong appeal, it's because you've done this sort of stuff already. It just was in other lifetimes. Again, could be Lemuria, could be Atlantis, could be ancient Egypt, could be ancient Sumeria, could be, you could have been in a monastery in China or Japan, you know, you could have been in a Hindu lineage. And a lot of times when I'm doing, you know, readings for people, they'll ask me, you know, oh, have I done this in other lifetimes? Or I'll just kind of see it and I'll see, oh yeah, I've seen, you know, you doing this in this lifetime here. So that's why there's kind of this natural resonance in a lot of ways. So yes, like you said, focusing on what brings you that sense of excitement and passion is going to lead you pretty much unequivocally in the right direction, because you're going in the direction of, on a soul level, what you already know. But in this lifetime, you just have to reteach yourself. You know, I had to reteach myself. I'm proud to say that I'm self-taught with literally everything in my what I do, besides Reiki, because I wanted to go down that traditional path of becoming a Reiki master. Other than that, literally everything is self-taught from books, self-taught from my own channelings. And it's not for everyone. You know, again, I'm a bit of a rebel in all ways. I'm an Aries North node. You know, I'm a Scorpio. I'm very intense. And so that was my path. Doesn't have to be everyone's path. But what I want to say is everything that I've like encountered, and all the books, I've got shelves of hundreds and hundreds of books behind me, all the books I've encountered, it's because like I come across it at Barnes and Noble or Amazon. I'm like, yes, that's effing awesome. Yes, I have to read this. I have to learn this. And then I do. And that's because I've done this before. I'm just reteaching myself in this lifetime. And this is the case for everyone that ends up having a specific skill set of in the spiritual field.
So were you ever, so when you struck out on your own and you wanted to do your own business,
Yeah.
did you find yourself having to deprogram from societal norms? Did you ever feel guilty about taking time for yourself, whether it's exercise or just enjoying the morning? Sometimes people like to sleep in a little bit more. When we deprogram from the 9 to 5, or actually 8 to 5.
I'm not a good person to ask about that, because I never had a 9 to 5 job in my life for more than a week. I would get fired. I was too much of a rebel. So I'm not a good person to ask about that. For me personally, you know, it fit in perfectly with my schedule. I generally like to stay up late and sleep in and work when I want to. You know, you do have to work a lot in this field, especially when you're getting started. I pretty much work all the time.
Yeah,
And
every day.
yeah,
But in balance. Yeah.
well, I do the best I can. But yeah, I'm not the best person to ask about the deprogramming because again, I've always been too much of a rebel anyways. So
Well, that's interesting because I wonder, do you know your soul path number? You take your birth date and you add all the digits to a single digit. Do you know what you are?
yeah, that the life path number, I'm a one.
I knew it.
Of
Why did I?
course.
I'm a one too.
Yeah.
And this is a lesson for everyone. Take your birth date, the month, the day, and the year, add up the numbers until you get to a single digit, unless it's a a master number, 11, 22, 33, 44, etc. And I knew you were a one just listening to you. We could say that that's like a rebel. It's kind of got rebel energy, but it's doing things
Leadership.
on your own.
Yeah, doing things on your own. Not only that, but my soul doubled down on that because I'm also an Aries North Node. As you know, I'm an astrologer, and the North Node shows us the direction of our soul's path, our soul's journey, our soul's lessons in this life. Aries is all about independence and doing things on your own, being almost like an island and doing everything on your own. Because I come from the lifetime before this as a Libra South Node of being over reliant on others. And I've had this sort of Libra Aries play come about in a lot of my life. Like I can see it most strongly in my past when I've had trouble making decisions and I get stuck and I like go around in loops and I could take weeks to make major decisions in my life and then nothing ever works out that way. When I just courageously go for things and just say yes, I'm doing this, and don't question, which is really the vibration of Aries, things work out very well for me. So one of the lessons my soul wanted to have me, encounter in this lifetime is like just making decisions out of confidence and out of belief rather than trying to, wrestle things around in your head too much. So that's one example. But yeah, I'm double down with like this fierce independence, this fierce, doing things on my own, being a rebel, doing things my own way. But that's not going to work for everyone.
Right.
That's me.
Yes.
And that's you. You're a one as well. But depending on your numerology, depending on your astrology, and certainly, for those that end up in my ascending as one group, you get offer 1 and 2, you get entry into my ascending as one group. It's on Sundays. It's the best thing I've ever created in my career so far. And it's so much fun. There's a lot of people in the group and it's a great community, but we do astrology work every single call at the beginning. And you'll learn astrology just by being on these calls. And based on someone's North Node, their midheaven, based on their Saturn, different aspects. It's one of the tools I use to really look at, okay, what did your soul really want to learn? And where did you want to go as far as career in this life?
Yeah, that's great because, as you said, it's different for everyone. And someone may, not everyone is a starter, like a one. A one is a starter.
It is,
if you're a 2, that's a nurturer, and you're a 3, and so it's 1 through 9, and each of these attributes are different. So looking into each individual is confirmation for the journey, for the path, and that feels the uniqueness of each person. So I think people can take comfort in that. We shouldn't compare ourselves to others, but just
exactly. Yeah. That's so important. It's so important. Yeah. Because for some people, for example, like, the class I'm teaching coming up is how to be a successful spiritual entrepreneur. I know a lot of people are going to be joining that from this call. And, for some people, it'll work like the way I do it. Again, I'm just doing this myself. I'm doing everything by myself because that's what I just feel most comfortable with. For others, it might work better. For example, and I know a lot of people like this, that basically find the perfect program for them, the perfect energy healing path, right, under a teacher. And they might end up, having their name on a website where people can find them because they're a certified XXX from this teacher. That's going to work a lot better for other people. Some people, it's going to work a lot better to create businesses with other people, with their partner, with their sister, with their best friend, or multiple people,
Yeah, that's where it's different for everyone. Not everyone has those same attributes. And so we just look at that. And again, when you do the astrology, this is a good time to go for readings.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. This is a good time to go for readings. And so we'll be able to see how you do it. So how many minutes do you need for each person about?
Well, are you wanting me to look at people's astrology charts?
That might get a little complicated. It's up to you, whatever you'd like to
I mean,
do.
I can. I just wouldn't be able to show it on the Zoom. It's up to you. I can. So, anyways, what I'd like to have people ask, if that's okay, is about their purpose, direction, and but as tailored to a career. I
Okay.
want to focus on that career aspect today, if that's okay. But I certainly can. If you'd like me to do one, or I can do one astrology reading for fun. Maybe I'll just, I won't be able to show the chart. But
Or you know what? Because that might get a little detailed. So why don't we just go with the flow and see what you need, what tools you need to bring in as we're dealing with some folks. So
sure, I'll just use my intuition. Yeah, if I feel called to look at something or go
okay.
to the tarot, I can do that for sure. Yeah.
Excellent, beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna go to Lindau. Lindau, you can unmute yourself and say hello. Hi.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi,
I know.
Lindau.
It's Linda.
Oh, it says Lindau.
I
Sorry.
know it screws things up a lot.
Maybe
I'm sorry about that.
maybe that's your new spiritual name, Lindau.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to know my purpose and what I am supposed to be doing for helping others. And it would be great. And my birthday is December 4th, 1950. And I know I'm a number 22.
Ah, that's great.
I do know those things.
So what has been the biggest obstacle for you?
Finding someone to actually pay me for all the things that I do, because mostly family and friends have been in, they know what I do. So it,
So there's this past life thing, this energetic thing that I can feel is left over, where you feel there's a part of you that feels like you have to kind of hide and be low key and not really be seen too easily. And it comes from trauma from another lifetime. I can tell it was a lot of us have had similar lifetimes to this, almost where we were like a witch and we were, doing things that were not okayed by the normal society or the church or whatever. And we had people like literally come after us. A lot of us that end up working in this specific niche have those specific, very similar past lives like that. I can pick up that for you. I can also pick up, there's this very Aquarian past life vibe of like being a monk in a monastery. So it's not natural energetically, I think, for you to be like out there in the open, seen with the spotlight shined on you as a teacher. But that's kind of what ideally the energy you need to amplify in this life. So the question is, how do I get myself out there and be seen more? So teaching classes, do you teach classes?
No, because I work mostly as healer. I work as a facilitating healer.
Yeah.
But I do help other people when they're having difficulties in many different ways. They'll call me and say, well, this is going on. What should I do? And I don't give them any advice exactly what to do, but I'm saying if it were me, I would try this.
So the best advice I could give to really start to move towards a direction of what you're supposed to learn is, again, teaching something. If it's not natural, that's even better, because that means that you're going to bust through kind of these inner obstacles. So teaching in person or teaching online, but if you're an energy healer, okay, you naturally have all these skills and abilities to help heal others. This is something you can teach to others as well. It doesn't even have to be specifically teaching the skill. It can be teaching things around the skill, teaching people how to forgive themselves, heal themselves, amplify self-love, etc. So just something to consider. basically, I'm just reading the energy of the situation rather than the specific logistics. The energy is that you are skilled, but yet there's this hiding. There's this hiding, and you need to bust through that hiding and kind of come out and be like, like a groundhog coming out of the ground, on February 2nd, be like, hello, that's what you need to do. And a lot of people find success doing that online, but some people, it ends up being more that they're supposed to do it in their particular community. When people, from a logistical standpoint, I will say also early on in my career is this, like, teaching classes was one of the most important things for me to start to have people in the local community start to know who I was so they could book private sessions with me. And then I started doing that online as well. So does that make sense? It's all about just like taking off.
And I have to say, I have to hide because I have a lot of Christian.
Yeah, okay. This is the issue. Yeah, exactly.
Who I don't want to step on toes, and then
you probably have to. You're probably going to have to. I was actually working with a client literally yesterday on this exact paradigm. They were going through the exact same thing in their life. Interesting that you're similar. If that's what your soul put in your life plan, then unequivocally it's something you're going to have to bust through, and you're going to have to learn to be more okay with people seeing you however they want to see you. It's a tough thing.
Yeah, especially when it's your own family.
I know. And it was the same exact thing for this woman I was working with yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the block there. That's the thing. That's if you bust through that and you start to be more okay. And maybe Loren can comment, more on this as well. But like once you do that, you're gonna feel so lit up energetically. You're gonna feel so empowered, and you're gonna draw clients to you like gnats to a mosquito zapper.
Okay. Thank you. Do you see anything about the healing aspect other than the teaching? Because I really have worked very hard on that aspect.
So hands-on healing. Do you do hands-on healing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your forte. You're naturally able to very easily transmit, light through your hands. And there's angels that want to work with you and maybe the more conscious you become about it, the more powerful the work actually becomes. So becoming more conscious and aware, and letting the person that's being treated know, oh, this angel's here. If they're open to it, this angel's here as well. You're a very powerful healer. It's just that there's steps to go as far as kind of breaking free, breaking out, and just being like, I'm here. I don't really care anymore what others think of me, including my family. I know that's tough. It's easier said than done.
Really?
I know. And I luckily I didn't have to go through that experience really myself, but I've worked with a lot of people over the years, with a similar, as I said, someone yesterday.
Thank you.
Also, just the logistical side of business and how to get yourself out there, how to package yourself and portray yourself where people are going to be super drawn to you. And that's the sort of stuff you'll find a lot of value if you end up doing, my package where we have the February 4th class, How to Be a Successful Spiritual Entrepreneur.
Thank you both very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Linda. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any insight for people that are in a similar boat as Linda, where because I do come across these people a lot, and my advice is, well, one way or another, you're going to have to, because if not, it's going to just keep building up this resentment inside. It could even lead to physical issues down the line when people don't bust through these big things with family. But do you have any advice on people? They've got a religious family, or their family doesn't understand them, and they're afraid to have a website. They're afraid to have business cards. They're afraid that someone will find them.
Yeah, you said it right. And in your description is they got to break through. And the best way is just to be confident with yourself and know that when because Linda was sharing that she doesn't try to say, this is what I would do. She says, this is what I would do. And so that right there, her coming from that stance draws people in instead of pushes them away. And it's time that we all put all of our skills and stop separating ourselves into little categories, but putting it all together. For example, realtors on the spiritual path would say, well, I'm a realtor, but I keep my spiritual side, my aromatherapy and this sort of thing quiet and off to the side. And it really is a time that we have to encompass all.
Yeah, you're right. There can, like, just literally, like, from a marketing standpoint, can actually work for a lot of people that are in the more square field, so to speak. When they're with clients that there's a sense, there's a resonance, it builds rapport, and it'll help them in their kind of more normal business as well. Absolutely. Just like being out there, because it's like, even though we live in a society where, all religions and all spiritual beliefs are supposedly accepted, there's this thing within those of us that do have past lives, like I read for Linda, and I certainly can, suspect something like that in my own past life history, where it's like basically being attacked by religious people. But it's 2023. We're trying to create a new earth, a new society here. So you're right. It's time in general to stop hiding that.
I find that a lot with light workers, not wanting to be on video, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to be heard.
Me too, actually, me too. And a lot of it comes from family and religion and just fear of how will I be perceived. But that's if that's in your path, like, it's there because you're supposed to overcome that for sure. And again, if you don't, it'll just become more and more uncomfortable as the years go by until you do. And then when you do, like I said to Linda, you're going to feel lit up energetically. You're going to feel like, whoa, this feels great. I finally feel more like myself than ever before. And actually, you'll find the odd thing is what I've heard from a lot of people is you'll find that people in your life kind of adapt. They have to make their own image and vision of who you are anyways. We never actually, are perceived by people how we think we are. It's our best guess. It's my best guess how you perceive me and vice versa. Right. So anyways, they're going to have to create their own, like Don Miguel Ruiz says, everyone's living in their own dream, and your family's living in their own dream. Your friends are living their own dream. Your church, if you're involved, is living in their own dream. They're going to perceive you however they want to. But if they like you, they'll find a way. Cognitive dissonance. They'll find a way to be like, oh, well, that stuff's actually kind of cool. Or, oh, she's a great person. I don't know what she does, but I love her, for example.
And you'll find that they'll start coming to you with questions like
that is true as well. Yeah.
What about angels? What do you know about
that? Is true as well. Like I've had this experience, one of my oldest friends, he definitely works in square industries his whole life. And, we just knew each other through sports when we were young. But, when he started hearing about what I'm doing, now he wants me to do astrology readings for him and tarot readings and talk about past lives and all this stuff, So, yeah, it does happen like that.
Don't be shy. And so I think that this is a program. I don't know if it's just for light workers. I think it's a program that runs deep in our society. My husband asks me all the time, where does that come from? Because it's not in him, but it's caring what other people think. And
yeah,
so deep that it's past, for me, it goes all the way back to Lemuria, because there's a guilt or there's a responsibility that I have about the fall of Lemuria. So that's my personal thing. But rooting out, caring about what other people think is something that it's none of our business, really. So if we understand that what other people think about you is none of your business.
Well, and again, like I quoted Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. That was one of the best books I ever read. Did you ever read The Four Agreements?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's so simple. But just the one about everyone is living in their own dream. And it really is true. And that life coach that I was talking about that was so influential for me, he gave me this light bulb long ago that was so inspirational that he said, there's really four people here. There's who I think you are. There's who you think I am. There's who I think that you think I am. And there's who you think that you think I am. Right. Again, we're all making these images and perceptions in our mind of who each other is. we don't know anyone anyways. Even your family, even your partner, you don't actually truly know them. There's an internal world that they have that you'll never be privy to. And thank God, that's good. You know, we're all individuals, right? So we just do the best we can to try to relate to one another. And ultimately, how someone else decides to create a vision or perception of us in their own mind, that's their thing.
When we hear get out of your own way, this is what we're talking about, getting out of our own way, our mental constructs that keep us locked or keep us from being authentic. So it's just this programming that I think we're done with here in 2023.
Yeah, for sure. Amen to that. Yeah.
Amen to that. Okay, let's go to Nonika. Nonika. You can unmute yourself, Nonika, and say hello. Nonika, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Hi.
Hello.
Hi there.
I was trying to figure out how to unmute.
Okay, you did it.
Have we spoken before, Nanika? I thought I remember your name.
We have probably a year or so ago.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So what's up?
What do you
Uh-oh.
need me to tell you? I'm
Can you
a
repeat
one.
that? It
I'll
cut
start
out
out
for a
with that.
second.
Oh, you're a one. Good.
I'm a one.
Okay, you're a maker. You're
Oh,
a
great. Is her audio cutting out? I
No,
can't.
I'm trying to do. What do you need from me?
Oh, well, what's your question?
Ah. What can you tell me? Do you need my birth date or?
Okay. All right. Well,
right now. Major, just solo psychic. What do you do right now, Nonika? And
it's okay. You know what I can do? Let's just for fun. Let's do some tarot reading and we'll just see
Okay.
what messages come
I'm
through.
retired. I was forced into retirement.
Forced into retirement. There really is no retirement.
No, there isn't.
So this is your encore career.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm just gonna do just for fun because there is not a really specific question. Just I'll see what messages I can give from the tarot just for fun. If that's okay. Messages. So yeah. Oh, that one popped out.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay, so first of all, yeah, the Queen of Cups popping right out, and then right after that, the Moon popping right out. So this to me, you know, I think about psychic work. I think about mediumship, and I think about that as being something that either you should go deeper with, or you should get started with, kind of truly activating. And then I've got all these cards that are, I think, more talking about your life as it is, and I don't know what your situation is, whether you're married or not, or if you feel just kind of like beat down by life in any way. I guess feel like maybe you know, the cards are stacked against you for a while, or something.
Yeah, they're
like
all
that.
upside down.
Yeah, but there's this energy of like needing to get back on with like a project, a life project, something you're super passionate about, something that will carry you for decades, something that it will really, there's a depth to it that it's even deeper than the career that you came from, that you retired from. And my sense is it is, you know, along the realms of this sort of psychic work, mediumship work, Akashic records work. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, I've delved into that area before. Yes.
Mm-hmm. What's the most frustrating thing about your life right now?
Unpacking boxes.
That's funny. I like that. Okay. Well, congratulations on the move, I suppose.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. When you're done unpacking boxes, when you're in a more stable place, I would either take a class if I were you on a specific skill set that really interests you in the psychic realms of things. And then I would get working on some sort of project, perhaps someday, perhaps getting into like channeling, and perhaps someday publishing a book of a specific channeling. There's like a specific guide that you would ask, my sense is that you would ask before incarnation when the time would come, which would be, later for you. There would be a specific back and forth that could be had with this guide through channeling, and that you'd want to write it down into a book. Now, this could be 8-10 years off. I don't know how soon this will be, but that's how deep it'll go. So for you, it's the third eye, the crown stuff that I think I feel is your biggest spiritual skill set. And again, finding those projects that are along those lines. But does that make sense?
It does. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then just like, also just in general, like anything from the past that bothers you, that you're resentful about, it's this year, it's time to clear that out. Let that go. Okay.
Okay. Can I ask you the 3 reverse cards that you had? Was the
Yeah.
Emperor, and what were the other 2?
Emperor. So the cards I pulled, if you want to have those Queen of Cups popped out of the deck upright, that, and then the Moon, and I read those together as like your skill set. Then the
Right.
ones that were more about your life, like I said, letting go of stuff. Emperor reverse, okay.
Yeah.
6 of Pentacles reverse, and the Knight of Swords reverse. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And to anyone out there who has an interest in the tarot is one of my favorite. Talk about passion. Like, out of all the things in the spiritual world, it's probably the thing I'm maybe most passionate about is the tarot. So I also teach it. I have a class on Saturdays. Some of you might have seen it in Loren's emails, but I'm still taking people on. If anyone wants to join, you can also find that on the show page. It goes all the way till May, so it's not too late at all to join that class.
Thank you. All right, perfect. Thanks, Nonika. Awesome. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a brief moment and talk about your special offer, ways that people
Great.
can help you. And this is going to be describing your course, how to become a successful spiritual entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Tell us, Matthew, what's
So we have a live class coming up on February 4th at 3:00 on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast. It'll be 2 hours or more. There's going to be a lot of room for Q&A. I'm going to give away as many secrets of mine that has made me a successful spiritual entrepreneur, success in this industry, that I am willing to give. And we're going to go over how to acquire the skills necessary to become a successful spiritual entrepreneur, how to leverage, like I talked a little bit about briefly, past life and other world even skills to be of service for others, the energetics of why some people are successful spiritual entrepreneurs and others struggle, how to use the law of attraction, another one of my passions, to enhance your business success, practical no BS advice to being successful in your spiritual business, and as I said, a Q&A. So that's coming up on February 4th. You can just buy a ticket to that if that's all you want, or if you want to really work with me, you want to take a deep dive into my programs, my Ascending as One programs, my one-on-one readings, then we have those options as well. Can I share a bit about those, or did you want to do that yourself?
No, go ahead and share about those. Thank you.
Sure. Yep. So we have 2 very robust special offer packages. As I said, these are the most robust packages I've ever offered on this show. They're set between 74 and 76% off retail prices if you go on my website. So these are the best deals I've ever offered on this program. Both packages do include the February 4th class. If you can't join live, you do also get the replay. Both classes include entry into my very popular Ascending as One group mentorship program, which is on Sundays. They are 3-hour live calls almost every Sunday. They are so much fun. They are fantastic. It's a great group. We have so many people in the group that have made friends from around the world. There's a Telegram group to interact in between calls. They give homework in between calls. These are 3-hour calls. We do astrology work. We do a topic for the week, and then we do group EFT tapping. I'm also an EFT tapping practitioner. Then we do live readings, and we do group healing work. February 5th is healing the heart chakra. February 12th is healing your inner child. February 19th is how to connect with your guides. March 5th is healing the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is very important when it comes to, entrepreneurship and success in this industry. Connecting with Lemuria, which I know you're very passionate about, on March 12th. And on March 19th, understanding animal totems and a spring equinox activation. So offer one, you get entry into all of those. If you miss the live calls, no problem. You get a download link right after the call. You get a PDF of the notes from the call as well to download. And as I said, you get to join the Telegram group. We interact, we post every day in the group, and you're going to make friends from around the world just by being in the Ascending as One group. The reason I call it Ascending as One is because that's the intention of the group, is we're joining forces, we're joining energetically to help each other ascend, to push each other along the process. And I do have several people that are already in the group that are either already spiritual entrepreneurs or are kind of going down that path already. They're acquiring skills, they're starting to start their business. So it's great to make friends and network with those types of people. So offer one, you get all of that. You also get some webinars of mine that'll help. You get clearing your inner blocks to activate your maximum financial abundance. I had such great success stories after this webinar. I heard from several people that had big sales happen in the weeks after this webinar. It's a very energetically kind of loaded call. We do a lot of energetic activations to help clear the way to financial abundance. Mastering your intuition, EFT, tapping through the 7 chakras, all about angels, archangels, ascended masters, powerful visualization techniques for ascension, human energy field 101, spiritual hygiene, cord cutting, grounding 101, dissolving the ego and putting the past in the past. And those are all for just all of that. It's over 50 hours of content for just $122, or 2 payment options are available. That's 76% off my website prices. There's also, if you want to take a deeper dive and you want to work with me one-on-one, go ahead and treat yourself to offer 2. That's got everything in offer 1, plus some bonuses, including private sessions with me. So you get 2 bonus VIP Ascending as One calls, February 26th, an overview of extraterrestrial races. Plus, I channel a group of Sirian extraterrestrial beings. As I said, I'm a Sirian starseed. I only do the channeling on these monthly VIP calls once a month. It's the only place that I do these channelings publicly. So you get to join in on that. And then March 18th, that bonus call is how to clear implants and entities and Sirian channeling as well. You also get two private readings with me, 2 20-minute private readings with me, one for February, one for March. That's part of being a VIP in my Ascending as One program. You get a monthly reading, and you get 9 additional webinars. Addiction Relief for light workers, which I discussed before, healing with colors, intro to candle and moon magic. That'll help you in your manifestation a lot. Change your reality by changing your words. That will also help you in your manifestation. How to move on completely from your ex, healing heartbreak, awakening the divine masculine, creating the 5DU, navigating the dark night of the soul, a deeper level of forgiveness, and some other bonuses as well. Treat yourself if you can is my recommendation to offer 2. That's $244. That's 74% off retail prices, and there's a 2 payment option with that as well.
Yes, thank you for offering that. The 2 payment option is so that you take advantage of it. Okay. Yeah. And is there more?
No, that's the only other thing was Linda was saying that she's been in a tarot academy for almost a year, but she loves the tarot. Yeah, I'm still enrolling people that are interested in learning the tarot. That's a separate thing. But that link is on the special offer page as well. As I said, that class, it's a 13-week class. You can get caught up on the replays. It goes all the way till May, so it's definitely not too late to join.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Matthew, for your huge body of work and all the teachings. It is a library of information.
It is. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's wonderful. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
So let's go. More readings.
Yeah, let's do it.
Renee, we are calling on you. You can unmute yourself and say hello, Renee.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Renee. How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me?
Yes.
Oh, I can't believe how many things, Matthew, that you and I are like, wow.
Oh,
So
yeah?
I'm a light worker, and
Yeah.
I've given it away for free.
Yeah.
over 20 years. So
Yeah.
it's time. And I just need to know what my divine self wants me to know.
All right, let's do that. Before I read that for you, I think this is such an important point for people, Loren, is I will say early on in my career, it's very interesting how this happened. Early on in my career as a spiritual teacher, healer professionally, psychic professionally, I would come across people here and there, especially, my first couple of years, that would think they had this weird paradigm where they thought that, oh, like psychic readings or energy healing should be free, right? And it comes from this, spiritism is a specific lineage on this planet, and they do things for free, but that's just one lineage.
God gets angry if you charge money.
Yeah, I guess.
I heard that one.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't think I heard it that bluntly, but yeah, okay. But there's So some people have carried this idea even to this day with them, that for some reason it's not okay to charge money for doing healing work, spiritual work, psychic work, etc., which I've always thought is very silly. And once I got past, it's interesting actually, once I started charging a little bit more, valuing my work a little bit more, those people went away. I never heard from those types of people again. And all the people that started buying were very grateful, actually, and they had no problem usually with the price because they could see the value in it, right? It's interesting, like with Reiki, that those of you that, like myself, that have studied Reiki in the traditional lineages, they have traditionally told you they want you to charge for the Reiki because people value it more and they get more out of it because of that, right? Now, this doesn't have to be universal. There are people that feel called to do this work charitably, and that's totally fine. But if you're someone like, Renee, who's been doing this for 20 years and has been like, enough is enough, why am I not valuing this? That's important to recognize that. And that there are no rules up there. Like you said, oh, God will be angry. There's no rules up there that say you're not supposed to charge for your spiritual work. This is, as much as this is service work, we live in a society. It's also a job. I work all the time. I would work a little less if I could. I work all the time because I have to make an income. I have to live in this Western society. Things are expensive, right? We all know that. So recognizing it as this is a job, like being a doctor, like being a dentist, like being anything in society, it's just that this job is very powerful and it makes a massive difference in people's lives. But you should be paid like anyone else in society is paid for your work. Absolutely. And I will be hammering that point in on the February 4th call about that you deserve, because it is true. Okay. So yes, Renee, hopefully that was inspirational to you, and then I'll see what specific things I can get for you.
Yeah, I'm a Reiki master and vibrational sound therapist.
Wonderful.
And so I am getting a website together.
Yes,
but
perfect.
I don't know if it is fear of success or poverty that I may have brought in from past lives.
Yeah, let's see.
I know for sure that
I pick up with
I was
that.
in
Yeah.
area.
What do they show me? So there's a couple things. First of all, I see a past life where you did go down the spiritual lineage in another lifetime, this path, and you were actually practicing doing energy healing for others. This was not Atlantis or Lemuria. This was more, it seems like around the 9th to 10th century AD in Europe. And you were told very specifically by a teacher you were not allowed to charge because you weren't supposed to. And so that belief really kind of transcended lifetimes, that it's not permitted, it's not okay to charge for your work. The other thing that goes along with this is there's this, I call it the hot potato syndrome when it comes to, I talk about this in my financial abundance webinar that you get in both packages, about how there's people that have past life occurrences where they had a lot of wealth and it was stolen. It was stolen by the government, or it was stolen by other people, or they misused it. And so thus there's this pattern deep within of like, oh, if I accumulate wealth, I'm not allowed to have it, or I'm not supposed to have it, or even I'm not safe to have it. So there's a little bit of that where I get the sense that you were a wealthy man in this one lifetime, and you had so much, almost all of it stolen from you in the end. And in the end, it was a lesson on greed, because you were a little bit greedy in that lifetime, and you were a bit stingy with your family. And then kind of the irony was, well, other people that you didn't even know end up stealing all of it. So those two things from a past life perspective are relevant. So yeah, it's important for you to start charging and to start valuing your work, and to put together, I would put together specific programs, like one-on-one programs where you take people through a series of sessions in the type of work you do, and maybe even creating some courses or classes that you can package in with that, and make really appealing. People love programs because when you go to see a healer once, it's like you think, oh, this might help, but what if I could get more? And usually the case is, if you do more things with a specific healer, you're going to get more out of it. So creating those options for like programs for people as well, I would say.
Yeah, and I live in Arkansas, so I have an abundance of crystals.
Yes,
And,
you are. That is so
there.
cool. You are at the crystal deposits there.
Yeah.
I'd love to return
have-
there. I visited one day. It's a magical place around Hot Springs there. So cool.
I live 50 miles from Hot Springs.
Oh,
so
wow.
You're more than welcome.
Oh
You
yeah,
visit
I
anytime.
definitely, it's on my list over the next couple of years to visit again. Yeah,
All right.
Arkansas, for people that don't know, Arkansas is one of two places. The other place is in kind of the middle part of Brazil, Minas Gerais, where there's the biggest underground quartz deposits in the entire Western Hemisphere, and they're very energetically powerful, amplified places. Yeah.
Yeah, we live right on that vault. Our
Oh my
house
God!
is
Wow.
right
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. The Earth is very
So I
active as
have-
well. Yeah. There.
Right. So I have abundance of crystals that I'm gonna work with, and so I just got to do it. I have a friend
Yeah.
that's gonna help me, and I will look into taking your one course.
Yeah, definitely,
for the
definitely. Yeah.
entrepreneur.
And also, I'd recommend if you can do offer one or two, because just being a part of the Ascending as One group is so inspirational. Okay, people are just making advancements in their lives and healing in business just by being a part of this group, because it's so supportive energetically and literally, just like networking and having people to support you.
Yeah. Yes, that's so wonderful. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I'll work on letting go of
Yeah,
that,
I'm
because
rooting
in
for you. You're on the right path for sure.
So if I'm a 22, don't you add 2 and 2 to make it 4, or no? For my birthday comes
It's-
to 22.
It's a so 11, 22, and 33 are master numbers in numerology, so you actually don't in those cases. So, and
All right.
Loren,
So
what's a
I'll-
22?
22 is the divine feminine, a master level of the divine feminine. You
Hmm.
can nurture. You could add the 2 and the 2 just to get the 4 foundation. So Renee, you're all about foundation as well, creating new systems. So that's
Wow.
something good to keep in mind. And you know what? I wanted
Yeah.
to share with you, if you're in Arkansas, so close to the quartz crystal and Lake Washita, you could do retreats. You could bring.
Oh, what an idea that is. Yeah,
You
I
can do
love it.
things. And guess what? In 2024, there is another eclipse, full eclipse. And guess where the full totality passes over?
Really?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh,
So-
how incredible.
Yeah.
So I have been wanting to do retreats for a long time.
There
And
you
we
Yeah.
have a place right by us.
Yeah.
And my birthday this year, there is a solar eclipse on my birthday. On
Oh my
4/20,
God.
so-
That's
Yeah.
special. So that means, so from an astrology perspective, I would say that means
Yeah.
the year that follows is going to be full of really deep transformation in all levels of your life. A lot of very swift changes
Wow.
if you have an eclipse birthday. Yeah.
We had an
Oh,
eclipse.
good.
We did didn't we, Matthew? We did. Our birthdays were right around the eclipse.
This year?
Yeah, November.
It was close. It was like, for me, it was like I'm on the 30th, so it was like a week off.
Oh, yours is on the 30th. Okay, okay, all right.
What's your birthday again?
Mine was the 5th, so okay.
Oh, no, you were, oh yeah, you were, it was for you. It was right on. You were the second eclipse. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in between the eclipses. Yeah. So for you as well, you know, and if I remember correctly, the second eclipse was North Node in Taurus. So for you, it you know, it may be a really transformative year of sometimes people could end up like relocating in a year like that, but not necessarily. It could just be about creating new directions in business because it's, you know, Taurus.
Right. Yeah.
All right,
Well,
Renee.
that is so exciting. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you. And Lauren, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I can't wait to see you on
So
the calls,
wonderful.
Renee. Yeah, I'm excited to have you.
I work with Addie right now. So I don't know if the Green Tara, so I've been working with Addie. So thank you for everything, both of you, and have a lovely
you.
day. Thank you.
Yeah, blessings.
All
Go
right.
that
Have a
eclipse.
good day. Thanks.
Go Google the eclipse in 2024. Full
Yeah, I
tilt.
didn't know that. That's cool. I didn't know we had another American
Yeah.
eclipse coming. That'll be powerful.
When we saw the one in 2017, it was so beautiful. It was just,
Were you actually saw the?
we went up to Casper, Wyoming, and
Yeah, it went right. Wow, that must have
it
been
was the most, it
amazing.
was the coolest thing I've ever
I'm
seen.
sure.
Wild.
Yeah.
So Renee, you've got cards in your favor here. Make that happen.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. All right. Well, let's do one more. We have time.
Yeah,
for
sure.
one more.
Yeah.
Let's go, Laura. Laura, we can ask you to unmute and you can ask your question. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Laura.
How are you? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also a light worker and energy healer, doing sound therapy, Reiki,
Nice.
but my main practice is biofield tuning.
Ooh. Yeah.
I just moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and
Nice.
well, a year ago, but I'm really struggling to find clients.
Mm.
And I've been feeling like, should I be more focused on, more focused, like working with children versus, or couples or things like that. So if you have any guidance, intuition as to that.
You know what? I think this would be fun. I promised. Well, I didn't promise, but I suggested, why don't we bring astrology in? So, do you know your birth time?
I don't.
Oh, it's okay.
Born in South Africa.
That's okay. All right. It's okay.
Born in South Africa.
Just an idea I had.
And, no.
But I'll feel into it instead. So let's see.
I think it was the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's okay. If we don't know, just for time purposes, I'll feel into it instead. So, okay. So there is something for sure that I can feel in your life path regarding working with children. There is something to be said for working with young people, and you may want to tailor that in that direction of potentially working with children and their parents, maybe even working with women that are, pregnant and going to be giving birth. If you feel comfortable with that. And it's something you really wanted to, you've done like missionary work in another lifetime, literally, which is interesting. But it was under the umbrella of the Bible, so to speak. And there's this call somewhere within, it does seem like, towards being of service to children in this life, but it's now in a totally different paradigm, a different crown chakra connection for you. So I think once you hone in more on the niche, and that's something important for everyone, that's something we're going to be focusing a lot on the February 4th call, is finding your niche. As you find your niche, you'll find the clients come like that. That's what I found, at least. So does that make sense so far?
Yeah, I mean, I was a school teacher for over 20 years, and I just got really burnt out teaching.
Yeah.
And then I found energy work, and
Yeah.
I have connected with children. I'm great with them.
There may
my
also,
grandson full time now. So
yeah, And there may also be something, what I would suggest is to not limit yours. And again, we're going to work a lot about on this on the February 4th call, how to present yourself online if you want to expand yourself more into the online field in order to get, people. But I would kind of give yourself the best possibilities for attracting the most clients by also having an online presence and teaching educational things on parenting, on conscious parenting, also on kids, on, maybe kids that are teenagers, kids that are trying to find themselves, like how to, because we have a mental health crisis really in this country amongst young people right now, as I'm sure you know, as a former teacher, how to meditate, how to be relaxed, how to communicate better with their peers, how to develop a healthy self-esteem, all of that. And I can also see this vision of actual children's books that are intended for younger children that you end up publishing in the future as well. So kind of being this holistic nurture, caretaker of children and their parents. I would say that's how I would describe your mission.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually have had ideas for children's books, and I just, finding the time to do that. So that's exciting. You say that.
Yeah, it'll come for sure. And my programs will be great for you if you want to take a deeper dive into that class on the 4th is going to be great for everyone that wants to, as I said, expand their online presence.
Wonderful. I will. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you very much.
Excited to have you.
See you then.
Thanks, Laura. The thing about it is, even though you got burned out from teaching, that's part of your skill set, and And so as you've got these new things that you want to share, you've got that already built. So schools are so ready for the courses. So you can literally create a course. You don't have to get hired by the school to go in and teach it. You can be a contractor at the school or offer that and come in and teach that, or somehow get the schools to promote it. And I love the fact that you already got the imprint for the books, the insight, the ideas for the books. Go with them.
I just need the confidence.
and
play.
Yeah, and for everyone, like that whole idea of confidence is very important. A lot of people, for example, I noticed that there are some, spiritual teachers, like business coaches out there, which it's definitely not what I'm kind of doing on this February 4th call. I'm more working with the energetics of things with a lot of practicality as well, but they focus a lot on the self-confidence, which is important. But the other side of things is taking action. And when you just start doing things, it actually, what the most important thing in whatever skill set you're trying to create into a business or acquiring more clients is the more you practice something, the better you get at it, and the more confident you become at it. And that confidence is what draws clients in. People are ultimately attracted to signing up for things, to taking sessions from healers, et cetera, that emit a confidence in their work. Because if the healer or the teacher's not confident in their work, why would anyone want to sign up, right? But it happens through repetition, through repeated practice, just like any other skill. Myself, as I said, I work every day. I'm working with the tarot every single day. I'm teaching, so of course I'm incredible at it. Same with astrology. I'm working with it every single day. Just in general, my clairvoyance every single day. So I'm sharp. You know what I mean? So, and I exude that confidence, which is why my programs are so successful, because I'm confident because it works. I know it works. So the more that confidence starts to build on momentum, essentially. So it's important. Yes, do self-esteem work, do all that. But what may be even more important is just getting moving, just doing it. Being creative, creating.
Well, yeah, and that's so funny because I just got that angel card this morning about repetition and practice.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
So I also do something called
like that. Yeah.
Soul realignment, the Akashic record reading.
Yeah.
And I've done it for kids. Yeah, and I've done it for parents and kids, and it's been life-changing, right?
Yeah.
But here in Sioux Falls, I've approached a few people with it, and again, I just feel like I almost took it off my website because I thought people aren't ready for that here.
Yeah, and look, I I live out in the country now, and I love living out in the country, but I'm not in an area where people, if I were to open up a shop, people would be super interested in the type of work I'm doing. So for me, the online world works great,
Yeah, and
and
I
I love
love
it.
online. I do online healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that may be more of what you want to end up focusing on.
Also, because we move every 2 years. We've been
Yeah,
teaching international.
that too.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
why am I going
Yeah.
to set up shop here when we might move again?
Exactly. And you can become incredibly successful just using the platform of the internet, as Loren and I have done. It's great. So
yeah, my husband's a math teacher, and he is so frustrated because these kids just don't pay attention. They don't listen. They don't want to learn. They don't respect him.
yeah, but what's funny is, like, when I was in school, it was the same way. I think people nowadays sometimes get boomer syndrome, where they're like, oh, back in my day it wasn't like this. Like, it kind of was, you just forgot.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it is worse nowadays. You guys are in
Math.
it.
It's math.
Yeah, he teaches math, exactly.
Math.
Yeah.
What
He tells
great-
jokes all the time. He does try to make it exciting.
Yeah. Math was actually my favorite subject. I'm a Virgo moon, so I love numbers,
Yeah, mine was math and art, and then I became an art teacher.
Yeah, okay.
And I married a mathematician, so yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
You make a great team. You're both in that educational field. So
Oh, for sure, yeah.
got the backing. Yeah.
I almost made an app, but I chickened out. It was too nerve-wracking, and I wanted to.
An app can work. It works for some people. Some people it falls flat. But we'll talk about that sort of stuff.
We'll talk about that. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Thanks. Well, we hope that this has been inspiring and empowering and cultivating of your own ideas on your path and journey towards New Earth, towards your passion, towards you stepping into your service work for our Earth. The Earth is waiting. You came here specifically to do it. Please join Matthew on his upcoming webinar. Again, the information is in the description box wherever you're watching this video or listening, and we invite you to join us. It will be life-changing. Matthew, as we say goodbye, your final thoughts, please.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has really been a wonderful show. I really appreciate the opportunity to inspire people with you today on this platform. And, we are in a prosperous time, actually, in the stars. And I want people to take advantage of that. We are in a very rare period where all the planets are actually direct. There are no retrogrades between now and April 19th, which is pretty exciting. It's very rare when that happens, especially for it to be almost 3 full months like that. So, like, right now, this is the time. If you've been sitting on an idea or ideas for a while, if you've had a to-do list where you were going to create certain course or class or whatever, this is the time. This is a better time really than ever with the astrology. We're in Aquarius season. During Aquarius season, we are naturally focused on how can we be of service to others? How can we be of service to the world? Not only that, we just had the Lunar New Year, and we're in that energy. It's the year of the water rabbit, which is a year of prosperity. So there's good fortune, good luck to be had. And Jupiter is in Aries. With Jupiter is in Aries, you can create and grow things like that very quickly. So all the energy for the next couple months especially is about moving forward. So harness that energy. And as I said, if you feel called to, join my class on the 4th and join my Ascending as One group, because we're motivating each other, we're pushing each other along, and we're doing so much energy work, healing work during these calls that it's just going to help you clear out the cobwebs of what you need to and move forward. And also, if you can get private readings with me as well if you'd like. But regardless of whether you end up doing my programs or not, use this time wisely over the next couple of months to move forward with things.
Wow, we can feel that. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. This has been
a
beautiful show. We are inspired anew and we are raring to go. Thank you, everyone, for your bright light. And we hope that you are inspired to step into your service work. Thank you. And thanks, Matthew, again. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation. And thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.